A little bit different circumstance today. We have all of our presenters, department heads, city attorney, all calling in on our go-to meeting, which you should all be able to hear. And present is Lynn Christensen, our clerk treasurer, George Clemens, Board of Works member, and Jeff Gross, council member, Board of Works member. So we will get started with the approval of the minutes from the March 20th meeting. I believe we were all present at that meeting. Wondered if you all had a chance to review those.
I looked over them. Did you see anything? I'll motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay. The next item says approval of minutes for the 4/3/2020 COVID-19. That's not correct. What this is basically, we're going to ratify in two different places in this meeting. There's, I think, 6 items here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items, and I'll go through them individually. These are items that I have already signed for that have to be ratified here with you all present. So they got stuck up in the board minutes. There was not a meeting. It was just me utilizing my executive privilege to sign those for timeliness, and then they are now being ratified. So I'll go through each one of those. There was a street closure for the farmers market, which will start on May 2nd. And I may as well talk about that right now. I talked to the farmers market this morning. They are going to open up as a food source. There will be food items only. There will be no vendors with items other than food items. They will be spread out. We're asking those that want to come to buy food, similar to what we're asking in the grocery stores, to just come separately if you can. We don't want any congregating in farmers market, but we want to make the food available. So the farmers market will open May 2nd with probably some food vendors. You're all welcome to come, but I would come singly. I would come do your business and leave. I would wear a mask, and again, we don't want you to congregate. Hopefully at some point we'll be able to get back to the sunny farmers markets with everybody congregating and playing music, but we're not at that point yet. We're just simply trying to distribute food, and certainly that's an essential activity. There'll be more to follow on that, but I did want to bring that up. So that I did approve that street closure, and again, I'll ask for your ratification after we go through all these. There was a pay application, number 9, for the Anchorage Road project from Building and Plan in the amount of $3,072. There's a pay application, number 7, for the Market Street project, engineering phase. This was $19,566.94. There was a pay application number 8, again for engineering in the amount of $39,067.89. Again, those last two were both engineering for phase 2 of Market Street. Actually, this next one is too. So there's 3 pay applications. This most recent pay app number 9. Again, it's to VS Engineering in the amount of $42,265.57, again for phase 2 of the Market Street project. So again, items 7, 8, 9, all engineering pay applications to VS Engineering for Market Street phase 2. The next item I signed was LPA voucher number 10, Lincoln School Neighborhood Sidewalk Project. Again, this is engineering. Let's see. Yes.
Actually, Joe, I think that's a pay application number 11. I think there was a typo there on that.
Okay, so it's pay application number 11 to Troyer Group for their portion of the engineering for the Lincoln School Neighborhood Sidewalk Project in the amount of $17,012. And then the final item is an approval of the purchase of a leaf vac truck. Street Superintendent Jeff Beeler submitted the memo asking to purchase a self-contained leaf vac truck. This is similar to the automated garbage system where one individual can operate it with a remote arm. We've been looking at something like this for some time, and we were able to find one used at a very reasonable price. I think these things run over $200,000, and we're able to get the cost of the truck at $55,000, purchased through U.S. Municipal. So we also, with the purchase being over $55,000, we did get a memo and an opinion from the city attorney citing IC 522-105 as a special purchase at a substantial savings, which allows us to make that purchase over $50,000. So that was all discussed, and I signed that, but again, that's coming back to the public and to you all to ratify. There was also then the claims docket in the amount of 1.215,636.23, so $1,215,636.23. The end of the month docket, $56,025.56, and then the pension docket of $36,950.91. So you all have those copies that I hopefully have had a chance to look at. Do you have any questions about those?
Education for me, Mayor, the 2010 was the red flag for me on that leaf truck. Was there any discussion on like the lifespan? I see 150,000 in savings, but was there just, I don't want to put you on the spot, I'm just trying to learn here. Why a 10-year-old save money, but again, I'm just trying to.
Yeah, Jeff Beeler, if you're on, if you'd unmute and you can discuss that.
Thank you.
Maybe.
Am I there?
Yes, you're on.
Okay. Let's see. So we went through and had talked to the municipality that owned this truck previously, and they have a grant. It's actually out of Pennsylvania, and they have a recycling grant in which they apply for every year. This was the first truck that they had gotten through that grant. When they get this grant, they have to get rid of a truck as well. So 5 years ago, or back in 2010, 5 grant cycles ago, they had purchased this truck, so it was time for this one to then go away. We went and talked to them about the service records and the hours on the machine. It is used, obviously, 2010, and very rarely do I ever come to Board of Works for a used piece of equipment. But there are times I think that it's very beneficial. As Joe mentioned, we've looked at these and demoed these machines over the last 4 to 5 years, but it's hard to justify a $220,000 purchase for something you use in a 3-month time span. But when we found one for 55, it was very appealing to go look at. What this machine will enable us to do is generally a leaf crew consists of 3 individuals. And so this will take that down to 1 individual that will be able to perform a 3-man crew. And then we don't have to separate 2 pieces of equipment to dump every single load. He's able to just come back, dump, and go again. And then also, on rain days, we would limit crews going out so they weren't having to work in pouring down rain and pick up leaves, where this truck will be able to continue working during that season, even if the weather isn't favorable for employees to be doing that. So that's the reason we looked at trying to go after this purchase. And it is the exact same brand as our 5 other leaf machines that we currently have. So all the parts, at least for those machines, hopefully we believe will be interchangeable. So we felt that it was a good used purchase.
All right, any questions?
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Jeff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, any other questions on those items?
I have no questions. George, are you okay?
No, I'm okay.
At this time, then, if I'm allowed to do so, Mayor, I would like to approve all of the requests made by you or the actions that you've taken. I support all as presented.
Okay,
I'll second that.
all right. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you. Lynn, anything under reports?
I don't have anything.
Okay. Something I will report, I am signing Executive Order 2020-04, it's not 02 here.
That's the number that is on the.
Oh, yeah, okay, 2020-0402, this is essentially an extension of our pandemic leave policy, directing non-essential city employees to go on paid leave to limit the spread of COVID-19. This is our third 2-week period We will extend our second 2-week period ends today. We are slightly ahead of the governor's schedule on stay-at-home order, simply because we've tried to create our executive order coincident with our payroll term. So assuming that the governor extends for another 2 weeks, I do have flexibility to rescind this if something would change. I find it unlikely that that will happen at least this next period. So with that, I have signed Executive Order 2020-0402, which will take effect Monday. All right, let's move on to, this is somewhat of an extension of what we just did. It somehow got separated into approval of minutes and now unfinished business. We'll go through these individually. And again, Lynn, just for clarification, I have signed these, correct? All of these that are being presented under unfinished business?
That's what we just
Yeah,
went
we're fine.
under, and that's what we just were, that George and Jeff just approved.
But that's not what we're talking about. We're in unfinished business now. It shows unfinished business from the April 3rd meeting. These are the 8 items that I was talking to you about before the meeting that weren't listed up in there. So I think we'll go through these individually, and these need to be acted on. Okay, the first is Anchorage Road Project pay app. Let's see, number 9. This is engineering. The money's coming out of edit in the amount of $3,000.72. Jeremy, I'll ask you to get on if you have anything to say about that. Please.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a routine, the 80-20 match NDOT grant program, so we'll pay out 100%, get 80% back. We'll continue to move forward with the engineering phase, looking for the right-of-way and environmental phase to start next.
All right, questions?
No, I'll move to approve the pay app as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, there are 3 applications on Market Street. Again, I assume these are the engineering that are, again, planning 7, 8, and 9. 7 is in the amount of 19. So these 3 were considered up top, if I remember correctly. Let me go back.
Yes, these are so this is for election, or for construction oversight, part of our CE agreement, construction engineering. During the construction, these bills or these claims are based on paying for that oversight during construction. These should be the last 3 claims for this project.
Okay. All right. So as I'm looking through this, some of these were up top, so we've already considered these.
We've already, yeah.
But the first one was not.
It-
Well, it's not in there.
In point of order, I would say, Mayor, that it's
3,000.
probably a very good idea for us to, we approve the items on the minutes that you presented. These would be unfinished business,
Okay.
actual action. So I do believe, again, I voted in favor of the minutes. I do believe, just for the record, that at this public meeting, you now are presenting to us with department leaders, and we should vote on these.
Right,
That's
and-
my, okay.
We've done it once. These were out of order, so I thought it was a separate list. It appears that all of these had been under discussion up in the approval of minutes, and I'm welcoming. We will revote on these if you like, if you have any questions on these. Yeah, there's a road closure, the vac truck, the claims dockets, the 3 Market Street apps, and the Anchorage Road. Okay.
If you approve, I have no problem under unfinished business, taking a look at items 1, A through H, which are connected to the minutes that George and I, all of us just approved on a motion and a second. I will move that we approve an unfinished business, item 1, A through H as
I think
presented.
through G, right?
A through-
No, you're right.
A through H.
It's true, the claims docket,
Is that acceptable?
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that just for the record?
yeah.
George?
But I understand, yeah, I think that's good. So you moved and I will second that.
Okay.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So I think we just approved those twice, so I think we're probably pretty safe.
Yeah, well, the one would be, I think,
Yeah.
officially the minutes and what you were doing, and now you're in the public meeting unfinished, you're wanting us
Right.
to vote on it, so I think it works.
Right. I got confused because they were out of order, and it looked to me like they were separate items. So I stand corrected. So let's go into new business. The first item, this is fire territory agreement with Beers, Mallers, Bax, and Salem. They are our legal representative on the fire territory. Chief Wilson, any comments?
Good morning. This has been an excellent opportunity working with him, and I recommend that we continue.
All right. Any questions?
No, I'll move to approve that agreement.
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, you're still up, Michael. There's a grant acceptance request from K21.
Yes, this was for our CPR devices, the AutoPulse mechanical devices. We were awarded the entire grant of $236,000. These items will be paid for by the foundation. They'll run them through us. We will maintain the maintenance on them if you approve. It has not gone to the fire territory board. It's coming to you guys first. And then there's also a signature page. There should be two of them. One's an electronic signature page for the mayor, and the other one is to approve the order of. These items will be distributed throughout the county to the fire department.
Okay, so, Scott Royst, can you jump in here? This appears to be two separate items. I'll ask for your opinion. The first would be the acceptance of the grant. And then is there, do we have to accept, it doesn't look like it's a contract. I guess it's just a,
It's just their paperwork, I think.
okay. So we can just entertain this whole thing in one motion?
Yes.
Okay, appreciate it. All right, so again, what we're doing is accepting the grant from K21 for $236,000. And I guess these items are listed as just to enumerate the purchase to support the grant agreement, so.
My only red flag would be, and maybe legal can help us, is this, I heard the chief say it's not been approved by the fire territory board yet. Are there any protocol issues there? Should we wait for that? Can we take action now? Will that, mess this opportunity up? That's my only question.
Yeah, it's a good question. So, Attorney Royce, the question I think you heard was, is this grant, are we putting the cart before the horse, not having the fire territory recommendation? I think the Board of Works has final authority if you choose to override whatever decision-making the fire territory would make. But I think the assumption is here that they would accept the money. Is that correct, Mr. Royce?
Correct, Mayor.
Okay, so,
This is Chief Wilson, if I may.
yes,
Sir, just to remind the board, this went to the fire territory board before it went to you guys originally as a presentation from Mr. Chris Fansel on the purchase of this and to work with K21 Foundation for the grant. And at that point in time, the fire territory board was in full approval of applying for and receiving of the grant if awarded.
okay, so they approved the application. Excuse me. And now we're talking about the acceptance, and I would defer to the board. If you have any reservations, we can put this on hold. If you feel comfortable, then we can go ahead and vote without a final recommendation from the Fire Territory Board.
I believe if legal and the chief are comfortable with it, I have no problem taking action here today. Do they have any reservations or not? Doesn't appear that they do.
Any further comments?
This is Scott Royce, Mayor. I would say they've already met and discussed it. They've already planned for what they're planning to do. They sought out the funds, and I think they've taken the appropriate steps. And as you said, we have final control over it at the end of the day anyhow, but I think it's fair to move forward with it here today.
Thank you.
I appreciate everybody's patience. I move to approve the request.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, thank you. Item number 3, building and plan. This is a change order at the Airport Industrial Park Sewer Project. Jeremy?
And you have before you change order number 4 in the amount of $64,382 for some additional pipe work on between Town Drive and Cessna. It also includes some additional roadway improvement to address the trench width and depth, as well as some additional lateral relocation.
So the total increase was $64,382. Questions?
Yes.
Okay. Jeremy, were these unforeseen changes, or were they just a change order that allowed us to extend the project a slight amount?
Some of it was unforeseen. As we were moving through the project, there were some changes. We ran into a geothermal system that we had to make some modifications to the route that added some additional manholes and some costs. And some of the other changes were more about refining the design to address some other issues. So we changed the route. Initially, we were running down some pipe down Pound Drive. We're actually running down Cessna around to 200. Instead, we're running the full width of 200. So just some design changes and then for some unforeseen changes.
Okay. All right, so it's primarily unforeseen and redesign work as they got into it. So again, that amount is $64,000, $64,382. Any other questions?
Jeremy, this is George. Is it still your best guess, August? Did you say of this year to get this?
Yeah, so as of right now, the completion date's still in August. I'm somewhat excited that we have 2 crews working out there, so maybe that'll speed it up some with what's going on. They did put a second crew in Warsaw. They'll be out there, I think, for another week and a half, and then they'll be back down to 1 crew. But so far, we're doing pretty good timing-wise. We'll definitely should be able to hit the August and maybe a little sooner if we're lucky.
All right, so
I'll move to approve the pay application.
Second.
any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Item number 4 is also a pay app number 12 for that same project. In the amount of $323,996.20. And I assume that those are for construction that has been completed. That's all been inspected and is presented to you for final payment. Anything to add to that, Jeremy?
No, this is just pay app number 12. We're still paying, right now, the funds are still coming out of the bond account. We probably got maybe one more, or maybe 2 more payments, and then we'll be switching to cash. But for now, the payments are still coming out of the bond account.
All right. All right, any questions?
I'll move to approve the pay app.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, item number 5, building and plan. This is the Market Street Senior Housing Project. Jeremy, you want to update us on this and what you're asking for?
Yeah, so the redevelopment commission met on Monday and they approved the acquisition and disposition of the properties necessary to complete the Market Street Senior Housing Project. What I'm asking the Board of Works to do is approve the purchasing of the properties at 800 and 802 East Center Street in the amount of $300,000, which is our agreed upon contribution to this project. I believe Whitney had uploaded the actual purchase agreement that Scott worked on with their attorneys. I don't know that it's attached to this. It might be attached to as a walk.
That's what's,
That purchase agreement with this memo, with the intent of closing on this property before the end of the month, so that they can finalize their financing and start construction.
this was handed out to you. George, it's there to your right.
Okay.
Jeff, I think you've seen it. This is the actual contract itself. You want to take a minute and scan through that. There's also a diagram of the property. While you're looking through that, I'll just remind you that this is a collaborative project between the city and the developer, along with the Indiana Community Housing Development Authority. When the rental housing tax credit grant application was filed, the city was asked to participate to help the project move forward, and this is part of our commitment to the project. Jeremy, anything to add to that?
It's been our pursuit over the last 4 or 5 years to complete the stellar plan that we put into action. This was originally one of those stellar projects. We've worked diligently with Englewood to continue to pursue this. It took a couple additional years to get the ISDDA approval, but this will be a 72-unit affordable senior housing project on Market Street, as was originally proposed within our stellar project.
All right, questions? Again, this is to turn the property over to the developer, Englewood.
I move to approve.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Jeremy, let me make sure I stated that properly. This includes the purchase and the disposition of the property, correct? That they're voting
Yeah,
on?
we'll be purchasing it and then disposing back to them this property, and we'll be disposing to them the property we acquired from Habitat on Market Street. I think there's 5 lots on Market Street that we'll also be disposing as part of this project. They purchased the now defunct gas station that was on Center Street. So as part of this, there will be putting that back on the tax roll from where it stood years ago as a gas station. They had some environmental issues. They're addressing those. So overall, there's a lot of different things happening with the project, but we're excited to get moving on.
All right, thank you. All right, questions? Is there a motion to approve?
There was in a second.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Jeff's.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Jeremy, when do you anticipate construction will be starting?
They want to start as soon as possible, so I expect construction will definitely start this spring, as it's still snowing, obviously. Maybe we haven't hit spring yet, but anytime, as soon as they get the property acquired, the project's out to bid now, so they're working with bidders, so I expect the summer will be full steam ahead.
All right, thank you. Stormwater. Brian, are you there?
I am here.
Okay, so do you want to present this shoreline restoration proposal?
So this is a proposal to continue what we've been doing around the Pike Lake area with the shoreline stabilization. This is for the design and management of that project.
So this would just be an extension of work that's already been completed?
Right, we're just doing a little bit every year until we get it completed. So this just extends that. You can, if you've looked at the map, you can see the next area that we're targeting there
as it kind of comes around the lake by Arthur Street.
Okay. This money is coming out of, is it stormwater? Okay,
Yes.
all right. All right, questions?
No, I'll move to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Brian, you're still up with Core Mechanical 3-year maintenance agreement?
And this is just our maintenance agreement we do with them to maintain all our HVAC systems at the plant and at a couple of the lift stations.
All right.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, the next item, again, you're still up. D&D Electric, I assume this is also a similar type of agreement?
Yeah, they come out every year and do sort of heat tracing on all our electrical components, and it helps us catch problems before they become a problem. So we're able to find loose wires or wires that are damaged or equipment that's beginning to fail.
So this is just ongoing routine maintenance that you've always done?
Yes.
Yep.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. The next item for $1,170 is professional services for NV Grant Services. I think they oversee our SRF loan and grant. Any other explanation of that?
Right, they just certify all the payrolls to make sure everybody's following the rules, and so we provide our documentation when we're audited from the SRF.
Okay. Questions?
No, very important. I'll move to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Item number 10, SRF grant number 52. This is the plant expansion, and this is the engineering pay app for Wessler Engineering.
Yes, this is just the next pay app for them for the engineering services and project oversight.
Again, the amount of $3,435. Any questions?
Move to accept.
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, item number 11.
I'm sorry, who made that motion?
Jeff
did.
did. I second.
Item number 11 is a pay app for construction services to Kokosing Industrial, the amount of $1,166,744. Again, this is pay app number 13 for construction completed. Has been certified by our engineer that the work's been done. Any comments, Brian, on this pay application or our timeline on the project?
This is, like I said, this is just for the work that's been completed. They're still working, still moving forward through all this. There's probably ultimately going to be a few delays, suppliers getting equipment on site, some of those types of things. But in general, we're still somewhat on schedule and hoping this gets over soon.
All right, any questions, gentlemen?
I move to approve.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Again, getting down to hopefully the finish of our SRF loan for the rehab of our sewer. This is the pay app number 16 for lane inliner, small diameter rehab, pay number 56. Again, this is for work completed in the amount of $201,446. Any comments on that? And again, on the timeline on this project?
They came back in town and are finishing up just a couple, I think there was 4 or 5, and honestly, I'm not sure where they're at on those. I know they've completed 2 of them. They may have completed more of them. So we are really close to the end of this sewer lining project.
All right, well, that's good to hear. I know it's been a very critical project, and I know, obviously, been some disruption, unavoidable. I think they've done a good job, and you all have done a good job trying to keep this moving, and looks like we're kind of getting to the end. Questions?
Move to accept.
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian. Any special claims, Lynn?
No special claims,
All right, so we're just looking at the docket here,
just the regular document.
the regular docket. There's just one of them. Trust you've had a chance to glance through that.
I looked it over several times and just did again. Did you see anything, John? Okay, with that, I will make a motion that we approve the claims docket as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Are there any other items to be considered, brought forward? All right, any questions or comments? All right, well, before I adjourn, as I'd mentioned, we extended the stay-at-home for our employees. I assume the governor will follow suit either today or Monday. But I know a lot of you have had the chance to watch the governor's daily press briefings at 2:30 in the last few days. I think there's been a little bit of a shift towards phasing back in to some semblance of I'll just call it less restriction. I don't even know what normal is going to look like, but it appears that the numbers maybe are kind of allowing us to take a look forward. He had mentioned early to mid-May yesterday, so we'll see how that plays out. So I think that's maybe a good way to end, with a little bit of optimism, other than I'm sitting here looking out the window at snow in April, so sometimes it's hard to call. But thank you all for your patience, and hopefully we will be back. I guess I do want to let everybody know Monday night we do have a council meeting, and we will do a virtual council meeting on Monday night as well. So with that, I think we'll adjourn the meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you all. Touchpad.